Hey, what's up? It's been a minute. If you want to skip this little life update, you can go to this time and just enjoy the video. Hey guys, it's been so long. I know, I'm sorry. If I'm being honest, social media wasn't really fun for a little bit, so I upped my part-time hours to full-time and just am doing a regular job to pay for my life because it just was making me happier, honestly. But now that I'm financially in a position where I don't have to rely on social media, I feel like I can come back and have more fun with it and just enjoy myself. I went to Canada for a week and a half, visited my long distance girlfriend. We had so much fun. Then I came home, had COVID for a week. Then I had a full work week after that. And my cat Kepri got super sick and almost died. It was about a 5-day event. Went to the emergency vet twice with her. She has fully recovered. She is totally fine. She had some kind of viral infection and she was refusing to eat. So it got to a point where I was pulverizing her food and putting it in a syringe and hand feeding her and all this stuff. She made it. She's a happy girl, and hey, what more could you ask for? Kepi's alive, I'm feeling better, and I'm back. You know, ups and downs, but that's what life is. Despite those hardships, now that they're kind of over, I am so happy, and I am happy to be back and ready to make videos and content. I do want to say I'm not quite sure what the future of this channel is, just because I don't know how I'm feeling about these reaction videos anymore. That's not to say I'm never going to do them again, because I do like doing them, but I also don't like just doing negative content. So if you have any ideas or suggestions or things that you want to see from me, please let me know, because I am happy to take those suggestions and turn them into something cool for y'all. Also, here's proof of Kepi Cat's existence. She has a shaved little tummy right now from her ultrasound. She's back to screaming for food, so she is really back. Also, if you kind of have missed my content and you do want to see me more, I've been posting a ton on Instagram because short form content has just been easier to make in this transition of life. So check me out there. All right, let's do nice guys. Let's react to the r/nice guys Reddit. Let's not do nice guys. Let's actually never do that. If you don't know what a nice guy is, I think that I don't have to explain it. I'm just gonna show you. You think getting friend zoned is bad? Imagine your creepy male friend thinking you owe them sex. Owe them? No, it is pure hope. It is a flame that you keep alive by every flick of the hair, every quirky smile meant for him, every brush of the hand, ever butt on his body moment. You are using him, killing him slowly by telling him you accept him, but never accepting him completely. Why are you his friend? Boy, shut the fuck up! It's wild to me when people don't actually want friends. What do you mean the only thing you ever search for is a romantic partner or somebody you can sleep with and nothing that having to do with platonic connection? You just don't value others if they're not benefiting you in some kind of sexual... You don't think having companionship and friendship and relationships is important, because it is. In fact, for your social and mental health, it's actually fantastic for you. It's one of the things that we put kids into school to do. Think of recess in elementary school. Yes, it's because kids need a break, but it's also valued as a social builder. Teaching kids from a young age how to socialize, make connection, form friendships. We see the impact of COVID and how it's affected a lot of kids. They're already doing studies on how COVID has affected the children that were brought up during that era and how it has affected their social capabilities. It's not to say those kids will never recover now that they're able to have these connections, but in that developmental stage, neglecting it, not great. This is all to say that relationships and connections have value even if they are not romantic. Oh, hi Bubbles, it's my roommate's cat. And I am of the belief that men and women can be friends. I've seen it before. Obviously I'm a lesbian, but I've lived it. But even outside of me, you see it all the time. Not everybody is sexually attracted to each other in this world. Crazy, I know. Sometimes somebody has a sense of humor that uplifts you and makes you laugh, but you don't see a future with them, and that's okay. You don't have to see a future with every single person that makes you smile. You don't have to see a romantic connection with anybody that you would go out for sushi with once a month. You don't have to see a romantic connection in the best friend you see every day and watch a movie with, because that's just not the kind of relationship you have. And if you are friends with somebody and your only intent is to get them to see you romantically, what are you doing? That's not on them, that's on you for making that decision. Of course, there's a few scenarios where somebody might be leading you on or using you. I'm not saying that doesn't exist, but for the most part, if you're sitting there waiting for somebody to give you romantic attention and you are not getting it and you're making this up in your head because your hands brushed, that's not their fault. That's not their problem. They don't owe you shit. You are using him, killing him slowly, or maybe you should move on. If you don't see value in being that person's friend, you should cut the cord. Although I would argue if you want somebody romantically, maybe there is an asset of friendship there that you can get past those romantic feelings for. I'm not saying everyone can do that. I'm not saying all the time. But if you value that relationship, even in a platonic sense, like, work on moving forward, getting over it, finding a different romantic interest that might actually give you that back. Get on Tinder, I don't fucking know, but stop blaming somebody who doesn't want you, who doesn't see you that way, when you have every choice in the world to move on. Come hang out. Kepi and Bubbles don't have the best relationship, so while Kepi's been getting better, we've been keeping them apart. So I just close the door to my bedroom so Bubbles can come hang out for a little bit. Right on. Big boy, that's a thick boy, he drink his milk. That was a lot of time spent on that first one. I was just trying to give you the general idea, the general vibes. Using guys for friends is just as psychologically damaging as using girls for sex. Somebody responded, sounds like a literal fedora with arms wrote this, but okay. The idea of using somebody for friendship is wild because there is something that both people are receiving there. When people talk about using girls for sex, it's a very different connotation though, right? Because it means that the girl is having sex with you because you're giving her some kind of false hope for romantic relationship or intent. Otherwise, it would just be two people having a hookup. So to present yourself as somebody who wants this girl and then to use her for sex and then throw her to the curb, that's really messed up. Versus being somebody's friend because you want to be their friend and then the other person sitting there being like, fall in love with me, fall in love with me, fall in love with me right now. It's totally different. You can't even compare the two. I mean, with friendship, at least you should both be getting something out of that. You could say the same with sex, but in reality, if you're using somebody for sex, you're probably after your own gain, if you know what I mean. So you're probably not really giving much or thinking much on the other person. Versus a friendship has to be mutually beneficial. That's how you guys like laugh and smile and create moments and memories. Otherwise, it's not friendship, is it? And just as psychologically damaging doesn't make sense at all. How is it damaging to have a friend? It's not using you, it's somebody genuinely sees you as a fun person to be around. They just don't want to sleep with you and they don't want to build a life with you, and that's okay. Not everybody has to. Hey cutie, you're beautiful. Don't ignore me. Am I not worthy of even a simple hello? I take that back. You're actually just a bitch. I like how she hasn't interacted once in this entire conversation. This person is playing with himself here. You can't just sit on it for a little bit. It's not like it's been days. It would tell us that the text mark if it'd been days. I was peeing, chill. Peeing, that means this might have been the span of 10 minutes off her phone, and I'm giving a lot of leeway for a pee there. Do you think a guy wants to hear about that? You're disgusting. For performing a normal bodily function, guys don't want to hear about that stuff. It's gross. Period, vagina, menstruation. Stop! Urethra, uterus, vulva, cervix, please stop! I even shit every once in a while. Okay, I don't know if this one's real, but it's funny. Sometimes I'll sit here and I'll be like, oh, there's no way this is real. And then you find out it is, and you're like, oh my God, people like that truly exist. I don't feel like this one's real, but that's still funny. This next one is 6 slides, so we'll try to go through it kind of quickly. Are you still selling the iPhone? Yes, I am. When can I come get it? I should be free to meet up somewhere tomorrow. What side of the city are you? South. There's a Starbucks on Southport Road, or I can come to your house. Starbucks would be great. I don't usually give out my address. LOL because you're a woman. LOL. Okay, a little much on the LOLs. I don't think it was that funny. Just don't really want strangers coming to my house. Silly. I don't think that's silly. I think that's safety. So what time at the Starbucks? To be honest, it's so silly the way you women are about men. There's no reason to be scared of men and avoiding giving out your address. You can trust me. I'm a nice guy. I'm just gonna throw up some statistics on the screen on why maybe women are a little scared about giving their address to strange men that they meet online, especially once they start pushing for the address. It's also interesting that this guy said or the Starbucks and then was mad when she said the Starbucks. It's not personal. I don't want anyone I don't know, a man or a woman, having my address, so what time should be good? Also true, I wouldn't want a random woman to have my address either. It's just weird for strangers to know where you live. That's just like the invasion of privacy. Why is he pushing it? Just ridiculous the way things have become. The whole feminist movement has really made men the bad guys, when in reality it's the women that is fearing nothing. Okay, once again, statistically you're wrong. Actually, you are safe and women don't experience the harassment they claim. It's all BS to make me look bad. I think you're doing that on your own, bud. Do you want the iPhone or no? I don't know what you're going on about. You're mansplaining that women have no reason to fear. What? I'm just taking the opportunity to educate women about the reality of the world. The fear is in their heads. I'm a nice guy, nothing to fear. He's making me uncomfortable. Like, she probably wasn't worried about meeting you at a Starbucks and meeting you at first, but now I wouldn't even want to meet you at a Starbucks. Okay, I'm assuming you don't want it. What are you going on about? Do you have a boyfriend by chance? That proves not all men are bad. You're cute, by the way. You can trust me for real. Nothing to fear. Hello? Where did you go? See, this is the problem. Here's a perfectly nice guy. I need a nice guy count on this one. Trying to explain to you the reality of life. Trying to show you that you fear is the only threat to yourself and other women. Stop fearing essay and things and you'll stop attracting the bad energy. Let me come over and you'll see I won't essay you, then you can trust men. Obviously, this is terrible because he's making himself look like somebody who would absolutely do that. He's pushing her boundaries. He is mansplaining, and he's literally doing it in a way where he's trying to tell a woman what she should and should not fear, even though he does not know her. He doesn't know her lived experience. She could have very well have gone through some kind of essay or some kind of assault in general, and to sit there and say this to her could be extremely horrible. Like, once again, the statistics show that this happens to a lot of women. The chance that he's talking to a woman that this has happened to is way higher than you probably imagine if you're not somebody who typically has to fear this kind of thing. And it's just really upsetting because I don't know her personally, but I'm imagining, like, even if it wasn't her, somebody in her life, and that's just a horrible thing to say to somebody. Are you trolling me? Is this real? No. I'm just tired of women saying they'll be essayed or whatever. It's not a thing. It's actually very rarely happens, but women lie a lot. I bet if I showed you the thick pee-pee in my pants, you'd change your mind and want to be, wow, this is getting so bad. Yeah, I'm gonna put a trigger warning before we start this one. Oh my, I did not expect it to go this far. Just die. Stop ignoring me. How's she supposed to stop ignoring you if she just dies? You women ignore nice guys when they cross your path. Could have sold the phone and met a nice man, but no, you and your stuck-up ways. Can't wait until this BS female Nazi shit is over. Go die. Okay, you know what's wrong with this. I don't think I have to explain what's wrong with this. The saying she wants to be assaulted if she only knew what she was missing out on, the random flirting in between it, the horrible misogynistic comments, the calling himself a nice guy while saying all of this, and then of course, I will never think that the feminazi, female Nazi thing is okay in any capacity. It's wild to me to use such a tragic, horrible event and such a venomous group of people to compare it to feminism. That's insane. Sorry. And then later in the day, he says, I love when the stick-up bitches weed themselves out. Makes it easy for us guys. Gumdrops. Sorry, didn't mean to send. Have a good night, trash. See, he was just stewing on it all day too, which is wild because he's the one who created this hostility in this environment. And it's really this thing of like wanting to be angry at women. She didn't even say she was scared of being assaulted. She didn't even, in my opinion, it wasn't even fully implied. Her just saying, oh yeah, I don't give out my address to strangers. That doesn't imply that's what you're scared of. It implies that you're uncomfortable with the idea of strangers having access to your home. That could mean a lot of things. That could imply 1,000,001 things. But to have your mind so set on that and to be so upset over that and to create an argument and an aggression out of thin air over that shows me that that was on his mind. Whether it means he was going to perpetrate it or it means that he's just a fucking creep. I mean, clearly he is. I don't know. God, she dodged a bullet even meeting him at Starbucks. Imagine what could have set him off in a public setting even. I don't get why women buy dildos. There are plenty of guys available who never get the chance. They would rather have sex with a plastic object than us? And then somebody responds with yes. Wow, I don't know how to explain that self-satisfaction is okay and people do it even when they're in a relationship. And the way this guy is turning somebody's self-satisfaction into, what about men? What, now I never get a chance, but that thing does? Like, I don't get a chance, but the plastic does? Why are you so worried about it? Why don't you find a girl who wants you, bud? Is it because you act like this on the internet, so it's kind of hard for you to? Is it because maybe you just never talk to women because you're nervous and you just don't know what to say, and so you take that aggression out online? There's a lot of awesome opportunities, such as therapy, such as talking to your loved ones, such as working on yourself and self-reflection. Also, yes, some women would rather have sex with plastic than you. Lesbians. It's not that they hate penetration, it's that they don't like men. I mean, some people don't like penetration, but you know, I'm saying as a broad statement here. Some women are attracted to men or a man, but it's just not you, because you have to find somebody who is attracted to you and likes you, and that usually starts with not whining about women having self-satisfaction. That's a good start. Moby claims he dated Natalie Portman when she was younger, but Natalie says it didn't happen that way. I was surprised he characterized the very short time that I knew him as dating. My recollection is a much older man being creepy with me. That's a fucking yikes. Imagine trying to like flex or talk about Natalie Portman being like, yeah, I dated her, only to be hit back with this. It is very strange when people assume relationship. I think every relationship should be seen as a friendship until somebody actually makes a move or there's some kind of discussion, right? Like, just because a girl hangs out with you or grabs a drink with you doesn't mean she's romantically interested in you. And in this case, she's saying she remembers him being creepy, and she was a younger girl, and it was also Hollywood. So I imagine within the industry, she had a hard time getting away from him, and he took their interactions as them being romantically involved, when in reality, she was probably just having to be nice because that's what women are taught to do when men make them uncomfortable because of what? The statistics of abuse, of assault, of just having downright fear, which if you ask that last guy, isn't real, right though? Thought I looked cute as hell today, and my boyfriend told me I looked like Pinhead Larry. Oh, is that the Medusa piercing? I can't remember, I think it's called the Medusa. Looking like the fucking Pinhead Larry tooth in this photo with the fit. Oh, that's funny as hell. Drop that asshole. You're gorgeous. He doesn't appreciate you, sweetheart. You need to leave him. You're gorgeous. You know what? You do look more than cute. Get a boyfriend who is not so discourteous and one who is more interested in you than himself. She is cute as hell, and she needs to dump his ass. Kick his ass, then dump him. Or maybe you can joke around with your partner. Clearly, if she took this and posted it, she thought it was funny. You can know your partner and know each other's boundaries and limits and engage in playful interactions. And it's not always just a cry for help. The idea these people are like, oh, leave him for me, sweetheart. I've got you. Huh? What? So creepy, so strange. Trying to get through a couple more of these because I know I took a while on the first couple. Incel. Incorrectly assuming something is a date. That's just funny, isn't it? And true. I remember one time I did a video on incels and they got really mad. They got pissed. It was a weird time to be on the internet, but it was pretty funny. Because I'm gonna be honest, if you're somebody who's gonna go online and join sites with the intention of shitting on women and making them feel like shit and trying to ruin somebody's day or life, call women the things that they call women in these forums. The video was me going on to like a literal incel forum and reading the things that they say about people. It is the lowest, darkest trenches of fucking humanity, genuinely. It is horrendous, the things that they wrote and said. And so if you're like, oh, I'm just a nice guy and you're making fun of me because I can't get laid, no sweetheart, I'm making fun of you because of the way you treat and think about women. Don't get it twisted. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with your personality. If you're watching this video and you're sympathizing with these men and you're feeling attacked, you're probably exactly who we're talking about here. Okay, so the context for this next one is I believe this Poison's boyfriend died. Sorry, or that's not funny. The sentence I said that, it's just the way I fumbled my words on that sentence is crazy. Hey, call me if you need anything. Please, I'm so sorry. Thank you. Anything at all, even if you just want someone to talk to. And then another message. Please just know all the BS that we have been through. I will never love the way I loved you. Crazy jump. You know, the second one said, if you want someone to talk to, you know, the option, and she chose not to. And so you hit her with the most insane fucking sentence? Really not in the mood for this. She's not even being mean. That was so honest. It's so real. Just being like, I can't deal with this. Just not dealing with this right now. I am gonna guess he's gonna be pissed off. Okay, sorry for being in love with you. Shut the fuck up. Glad you look at me as such a piece of shit when you were in my life. Don't worry, I will never text you again. It's the disingenuous engagement To reach out to somebody and be like, it's because I care and I want to be there for you, to then flip it and be like, it's actually because I'm in love with you and I expect you to love me back and I will treat you like shit if you are not interested. So disingenuous. Fucking stop or I'm blocking your number. My boyfriend just died. Do you get that? Bye. And of course, despite saying he will never text her again, he does. And he says bye. So that must be the end of it. Just kidding. Maybe if I was fucking dead, maybe you would care. Driving home, hope I die and you miss me as much. And then she responds with, fuck you. This reminds me of like when I was in middle school and I used to like make up the scenarios in my head to like pierce the veil of like, if I died right now, like who would come to the hospital to visit me? Would it be like my crush? But he's using this girl's real life scenario of her boyfriend dying as a way to weasel his way back into her life. That's insane. Well, maybe if I just died, then you'd love me. So manipulative. I think she would actually probably be free from you for the rest of her life, honestly, but gonna be real. We'll do one more for the fun of it. This is a church first dance kit flyer. First dance kit. Get ready for the dance. Paint your nails, wear a little lip gloss, and don't forget to brush your teeth. Don't forget what approved dress standards are when choosing your outfit. You don't want the embarrassment of being asked to go home and change. And you don't want the guy dancing with you to feel uncomfortable because of the questionable outfit that you somehow justified. Oh, yikes. I will say it's a church environment. I understand that there's some dress code rules, totally understandable, but the way it's phrased here is what's getting me. It's one thing to be like, you know, this is a church family event. Maybe there's a bunch of kids, I don't know. It kind of like how at school or how at a job there is a dress code, right? Like you're not going to the club, you're going to your local church dance. So it's understandable that in these specific environments there are dress code rules. But to phrase it in the way that it was is where this is wild to me. It could have just said, here's the dress code list of rules, remember not to break these. Instead it's like, wouldn't you be so embarrassed if you showed up and then we said, you have to go home and change? Wouldn't you be so embarrassed? And what about the guy? What if you make him uncomfortable with how sexy you are? What if he gets a little wee-wee hard? What if he gets a little wona? It's just a weird way to phrase it, dude. I know the third one isn't highlighted, but it's worth reading. Go with a friend, but don't be joined at the hip. No guy is going to interrupt the highly intense conversation that you seem to be having with your girlfriend every time he walks by you. It's like they're trying to set these people up. I'm gonna assume this is a dance for kids by the way it's set up. I don't know for sure, but I'm gonna assume that. The idea that they're trying to set up romantic connections at this church dance is wild to me. Like, what do you mean you can't just go enjoy the punch and talk with Stephanie? Like, that feels okay to me. Like, why is the intention of this church dance to hook up the young singles? 4, never say no to a guy. Well, let's cut it there. That's already horrible advice. I'm sorry, that caught me off guard. Never say no to a guy who had the courage to walk over and ask you to a dance in the first place. A song that lasts approximately 3 minutes. It's not that bad. I'm sorry. Are you the young girl who has to be pressed up with this boy that she does not like nor is interested in? Or do you have to be pressed up against him for that 3-minute song? Do you have to deal with the conversation she doesn't want to have? It's wild to me because a bunch of these were like, girls are leading men on with these friendships and you're killing him slowly. But the advice here is he deserves a chance. Give him a chance. You have to give him a chance. You can't say no to him. Give him a chance. He worked really hard to build up the courage to come ask you for a dance, so therefore you cannot say no and you cannot set your own boundaries because, like, come on, it's only 3 minutes. He deserves a chance. Come on. Oh my god, what do you mean you're not in love with me? You danced with me for 3 minutes. What the fuck? Fuck you. I like how number 5 is know your standards. But if you know your standards, you're in the wrong here. There's no winning. There's no winning for women when it comes to nice guys. There just truly is not, because at the end of the day, they're not nice guys, obviously, but it's also about the aggression and hatred they feel towards women. It's not about the fact that they're actually not getting chances, because they're not actually putting themselves out there in a positive light. They're going out there with a negative mindset full of hatred for women already. You don't have to be the sexiest guy in the world to get a girl. You don't. You know, there's somebody out there for everyone. There's somebody who's going to be attracted to you, which I know sometimes is a hard thing to think when you feel ugly and you don't feel good about yourself, but somebody out there is for everyone. But you also have to not be a complete asshole. You have to actually have compassion and a heart and interests outside of hating women. Like, if you spend 5 hours a day on your incel forum and then you're shocked when you can't get a date, it's not because you're a nice guy. I can tell you that much. But thank you guys so much for watching. My socials will be in the description. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you really liked it, and I will hopefully see y'all pretty soon. All right, bye.